Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're laying out the ultimate, absolutely crucial 2026 blueprint to transform your creative hobby into a thriving, profitable photography business. We are totally stripping away the guesswork here. We're going to break down the exact facts, figures, and strategies you need to launch this thing and actually succeed.
So, are you ready? Because let's be real, taking the leap and going pro, it's intimidating. Imposter syndrome is literally the #1 killer of creative businesses. But here's the absolute truth. If you already understand manual exposure, lighting, and composition, your technical skills are already in demand. Your time and your talent, they're worth real money. It's time to step up and validate that for yourself.
Okay, let's dive into this. $10 billion. That's a massive number, right? Well, that is the annual size of the US photography industry alone, and that covers everything from portraits and events to commercial shoots and real estate. The financial opportunity out there is just huge. There's a highly profitable space waiting for you, but only if you approach this like a CEO, not just an artist.
To make sure you secure your spot in that market, we'll follow this exact step-by-step blueprint. First, preparing to go pro. Second, startup costs and equipment. Third, building your business plan. Fourth, protecting your new business. And finally, pricing and landing clients. Don't worry, we're going to safely guide you through this whole transition.
All right, kicking things off with Phase 1, preparing to go pro and mastering your mindset.
You know the old saying, right? It's not the paintbrush, it's the painter. Well, before you even think about registering an LLC or building a fancy website, you have to recognize your own value. When you're just starting out, it is so incredibly easy to obsess over gear. We've all been there. But you have got to stop stressing over having the most expensive equipment on day one. Clients are paying for how well you capture a moment, not the brand name stamped on your camera body. Plus, you can always just rent what you need for a specific shoot.
Moving right along to Phase 2, startup costs and equipment. It's time to ground your business in reality.
Let's bust a massive industry myth right here, right now. There is absolutely no photography license required in any US state. Literally none. Now sure, setting up an LLC to protect yourself from liability and grabbing a local business license, those are essential for your foundation. But there's no official, standardized photography test holding you back. The only real barrier to entry is your skill, your equipment, and how well you market yourself.
And this brilliantly illustrates the reality of the gear you'll need. Launching your business requires a real financial investment, usually anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000 overall. If you're looking at the budget side, a solid starter kit is going to run you about $5,000 to $8,000. That gets you a basic full-frame body, a couple of good lenses, and your editing setup. On the flip side, a high-end professional kit, that can easily set you back $15,000 to $25,000. So the big takeaway here, start lean. Do not drain all your capital on day one.
Okay, Phase 3, building your business plan and the financial forecast. Because here is the harsh reality check. You're building a business now, not just scheduling fun photo shoots.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the time breakdown. A successful professional actually spends about 50% of their time on admin and marketing, and only 50% actually holding a camera and shooting. It's crazy, right? A real solid business plan models out your direct costs, things like software subscriptions, travel, that kind of stuff, against your gross margin. It basically proves that photography is, at its core, a numbers game. Your revenue absolutely must consistently outpace those operational costs if you want to see an actual profit. Forecasting your monthly revenue growth is completely key here. Look, things are going to start slow. That is completely normal. But with consistent marketing and really nurturing those repeat client relationships, like booking the same families for portraits year after year, your monthly revenue can absolutely scale up to $15,000 or even more. The upward trajectory is completely real, but you have to put in those behind-the-scenes business hours.
Next up, Phase 4, protecting your new business with legal and insurance. Let's put the firm mentor hat on for a second, because we really need to talk about protecting your livelihood.
There are 3 essential types of insurance you absolutely need to operate safely. First up, property insurance. This covers that expensive gear we talked about if it gets stolen, dropped, or damaged. Second is general liability. This protects you from taking a massive financial hit if, say, a client or a venue guest trips over your light stand on set and gets injured.
And the third one? Errors and omissions, or E&O insurance. Think of this as your professional liability shield.
Imagine you're shooting a wedding. The absolute worst happens. A memory card corrupts, and the client sues you for breach of contract. E&O Insurance is what covers your legal defense and any settlements. It is literally your worst-case scenario lifesaver. You don't want to skip this.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because while insurance is your backup plan, an ironclad contract is your frontline defense. I'm going to give you some tough love right now. Never, ever roll up your sleeves and start working without a signed contract. It's non-negotiable. It has to include a 50% non-refundable deposit to actually reserve your time, a super strict scope of work detailing exactly what the client is getting, and a clause that final payment is due within 7 days. You have to protect your time, and you have to protect your cash flow.
Finally, we've made it to Phase 5, pricing and landing clients, knowing your worth.
Establishing a really strict professional relationship from that very first conversation is exactly how you land high-paying clients. And choosing your specific niche, that drastically impacts how you price yourself. For example, if you shoot portraits, your startup costs are generally lower, but your per-job rates are going to hover around the $150 to $500 mark. But pivot over to commercial photography, and while you'll definitely need a much higher startup investment for things like specialized lighting, your per-job rates leap up to $5,000 or more. The profit margins there are massive. Basically, specialization dictates your profitability.
When it comes to actually setting your rate, you essentially have two primary ways to do it. First is the market rate, which just means pricing yourself competitively against local peers based on your experience level. Or, alternatively, there's the need-to-make rate. This is where you calculate exactly what you need to survive financially every single week and then divide that by your available shooting hours. Using this method ensures that your hourly or package rates actually sustain your life.
So the crucial point is managing those clients effectively, and that requires absolute boundaries. Remember, you are not their employee. You are a high-value service provider. Discuss the budget early on so you aren't wasting anyone's time. When it comes to your portfolio, showcase only your absolute best 15 to 20 images. Curation is quite literally your best sales tool. And finally, firmly enforce deadlines, both for when you deliver the edits and for when they pay you.
Well, we've covered the mindset, the startup costs, the business planning, the legal protection, and the pricing strategy. You now have the complete 2026 blueprint in your hands. You've got the skills, you've got the knowledge. So, who will be your first client? It's time to leverage your network, make some local partnerships, and book that first gig. Your photography business officially starts today. Get out there and make it happen.